Okay, what is up guys? So this is part 9 of the scripting tutorial series. Today we're going to be going over leader stats and pcalls. So let's get started with leader stats. So leader stats are the thing that you see in games at the top right of your screen. It's the GUI that most commonly shows how much cash you have, and you can see other players' cash. So yeah, I'll be showing you how to make this. It's actually quite simple, so let's get started. So first off, make a script in Script service. I usually name it leader stats for what was it called again? For organization, but you don't have to name it leader stats. So next off, leader stats work by making a folder inside a player, and then inside of that folder it stores values. So let's start off by making a folder inside the player. So to do that, we're going to check whenever a player joins the game. So game.getServicePlayers, and to detect that, we're going to use the .playerAdded event. So when a player joins, we connect to a function, and we also get the player in the parameter. So next off, we make our folder, and we're going to want to set it to a variable. So local leader stats equals instance dot new folder. Folder, and this is really important. You want to make sure that your leader stats is named leader stats, all lowercase, or else it won't work. And lastly, you want to set the parent to the player. So yeah, we're making a new folder inside the player whenever a player joins, and we're naming it leader stats, and yeah, setting the parent to the player. So now that we have our folder, we need to actually display some values, and to do that, we're going to be using Roblox's values. So Roblox values are pretty much just instances that have a property which hold a value. So I can actually show this off by making a number value. So as you can see, it's an instance and it has a property which holds a number value. So let's store one inside of the leader stats. So local, I'll name it cash equals instance dot new number value. Next off, you want to set the name of it. So name equals cash. So this is what the players will see at the top right of their screens. So if I name it like coins, it will be displayed as coins in the player's GUI. You can also set the value of the cash if you want. And lastly, you want to set the parent to leader stats, because all of the values that you want to display need to be contained inside the leader stats. So if you actually play the game now, we can see that it will work fine. As you can see, we have our leader stats in here. We can actually see this in action as well. So this is our player. We created a folder inside the player, and we created a number value inside the player, which holds the cash. So I think I can actually rename it on the client as well. So coins. I need to name it on the server after all. Not sure if you even can rename them. Yeah, you can't rename them once you make them. So yeah, that's leader stats. We can do the same thing with strings. So local rank equals instance dot new string value. Rank dot value equals, I'll do like a medieval style thing and name it wizard, and rank dot name equals rank, and rank dot parent equals leader stats. Now it will show our rank as well. So yeah, it's really simple. I'll just explain it once again. So we're detecting whenever a player joins, and when a player joins, we're making a new folder inside of the player called leader stats. And then inside of that folder, we create some values, in this case a number value, which is named cash and has a value of 100. And we're also creating a string value with the value of wizard and the name of rank, and which all gets displayed onto the player screen as a leaderboard. So yeah, that's leader stats. I'll also quickly be showing off pcalls. So it's important to learn them for the next episodes, which will be about data storing. So I'll just name this tutorial. So pcalls are a way of running a script without having it error and stop the entire script. So I'll quickly show you an example. So I'll make like a local a equals, actually no, I'll do like okay, I'm gonna detect whenever a player joins. Players.player added function player. So let's say we're gonna want to get the amount of coins that the player has, but the coins haven't loaded in yet. So yeah, it's a pretty bizarre circumstance, but it'll show you off the point of what I'm trying to show. That was a bit confusing, sorry. So basically, so as I just showed you leader stats, so the way you will usually access leader stats is by doing the player instance dot leader stats dot cache dot value. So if I were to have a script somewhere that made the leader stats, this would work. But for this demonstration, I'm just going to show you that this will error. So yeah, leader stats doesn't exist, but we can pretty much avoid this by using something called a pcall. Now pcall just runs a function, but if it errors, it can return the error. So I'll just type it out and then show you. Local success error message equals pcall function. So I'm gonna explain this real quick. So local, so we're pretty much making a variable. Well, we're making two variables, success and error message, and we're setting that to whatever pcall returns. So pcall returns two values, success, which is a boolean, and an error message, which is a string. So if the script that runs inside this function runs successfully, it will return true and I think nil. But if it errors, it will return false and the error message. So let's print out success and the error message. So false, leader stats is not a valid member of player and my player. And if it's successful, then I'll do like print e. If it's successful, then it will run the script as well, and it prints true and nil. So yeah, pcall is just a way of running code without risking it breaking your script. And I don't recommend just wrapping your entire script inside a giant pcall. Just inefficient and not really it's just inefficient mainly. So yeah, pcalls, I'll go more in depth on the next episode, but for this episode it's basically it. So yeah, you can mess around with leader stats by like making a button, and when you click the button it adds a coin to your inventory. So yeah, that can be the daily challenge for you. Just make a button that increases a value in your leader stats. So yeah, that's it for this episode. Next video is going to be about data sorting, which pretty much means we're going to be able to save values whenever a player rejoins the game. So yeah, I'll see you later. Goodbye.